Hi guys, hopefully this signal is a little bit better, a bit stronger than maybe it was before. So I'm hoping all's good. Let me know in the chat if you can, if it's working or if it's not working, and then hopefully that'll keep me posted. As is, I'm going to try sail through what I've said before, and I say it won't take too long. Okay, so ready, here we go. Maths, average speed equals distance over time, and that was the key bit for today's work. Just had to know it was distance over time. Okay, so with that in mind, answers then were, again, third time I'm doing this, so hopefully you can hear me and it all works okay. Question 1A, Frank is 7 meters per second, Judy 9 meters per second, Ben 5 meters per second, Natalie 8 meters per second. So as I said, if you can, drop into the chat and let me know how you get on, and also let me know if you can still hear me and the signal is keeping up. I think it is. I'm not getting any warning signs that occasionally come up, so hopefully that means our signal is good. Now, when it comes to average speeds, the higher the number per second is obviously the faster they go. The lower the number per second, the slower they go. So with that in mind, then question B asked who's the fastest. That was Judy at 9 meters per second. So Judy was the fastest. Ben was the slowest at 5 meters per second. And then speed equals distance over. Tony was 60 kilometers per hour. I've got a little warning to say the connection might be unstable, so not too sure. We will plow on with this. Tony was 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour for Tony. Denise was 50 kilometers per hour. Jenny was 433.33 kilometers per hour. Alice was 60 kilometers per hour. And Andrew was 55 kilometers per hour. 2B asked what possible transport was Jenny using? A plane, essentially. Question 3 then. Question 3, a lot of detective work was needed. You needed to sift through, pick out the information which you did need, and discard all the information that you don't need. This is why formulas are really good. The formulas tell you what you do need. So formulas, speed equals distance over time. When you read that paragraph, you find out which part of that formula, there's 3 parts, which parts can you fill in, and you can fill in the distance because it's 100 meters. The time, you can fill in the time because it's 9.58 seconds. All the rest, totally discard it. And there is numbers in there as well. Discard them too, the habit of knowing. And that's why formulas are good to know. So once you got that, you had 100 meters divided by 9.58. For me, the way I done it was I multiplied both numbers by 100 just to get rid of that decimals, and it did take a lot of working out. If you wanted to use a calculator, that's no problem either. For these, I said if you're going to use a calculator, you need to know how to work it out, and the how to work it out is what we're teaching. So long as you know how to work it out, super. So with what now is 10,000 divided by 958. By the way, your answer works all the way down to 10.438 or 10.43, wherever you want. Now, it does go a lot further than that. It goes to, I think, maybe about 8 decimal places, but I capped it off at 438. Probably should have capped it off at 10.43, okay? Not often do running times go as far as the thousandths decimal place. So probably 10.43. Question 4A then says about how he ran 200 meters and set a world record. 200 meters, he took 19.19 seconds. And again, divide that all up, and your answer should be 10.42 meters per second. Distance divided by time. 200 meters divided by 19.19 seconds gives you an average speed of 10.42 meters per second. And B says, what did you notice impressive or that about those two times? And it's the fact they're almost identical despite the difference in length. So his times are almost identical, 10.43 for 100 meters and 10.42 for 200 meters, despite the fact that 200 meters is twice the distance, okay? And do you remember what we said, like, that speed comes down? You would have expected as an athlete that his time would have continued dropping after 100 meters. His time would have kept dropping so that the average would have been much slower. But it was such an impressive run by Usain Bolt that he actually maintained that level of speed for a 100-meter sprint right the way through a 200-meter sprint. He absolutely cruised it that year. I remember watching it. So that's what's impressive, the fact that he maintains the speed despite doing twice the distance. Okay, and that was the maths. Now, very quickly, two other things. Verbs, the doing words, the verb English. Verbs are your doing words. Tenses are in what state it is in. Is it present tense, the here and now? Is it in the future tense, which has yet to happen but will happen? Or is it in the past tense, which has already happened? It's gone before us, so it's happened. Okay, and that's, you just tying that up. So the first sheet for the example is like is friends. Oliver and Gregory is friends. That doesn't make sense. It's not correct English, and it's only because the verb is actually in the wrong tense. It needs to be past tense or present tense. Sorry. So you would say Oliver and Gregory are friends. Okay, Oliver and Gregory are friends. Or the other option is Oliver and Gregory were friends if they aren't anymore. Okay, so sometimes you'll be talking about maybe people that you used to know years ago, you would say they were friends. Maybe not so much now because you don't speak to them. Okay, so that's the first one. So as I said, the trick to this one, how you can determine what sounds right, what doesn't sound right, is actually reading. So the more that you read, the more that your brain becomes aware of those patterns, so that when you get questions like this and you read it, your brain sends a little alarm bells going, doesn't sound right, doesn't sound right. And then you can focus in on why that doesn't sound right, okay? And do be careful, because a lot of our work, you've seen it in the diary entry, a lot of our work does flick between tenses when sometimes we need to be super consistent. So like our diary entry, which was about a day's events that had already passed because you're at night time, they've already happened during the day. All of our verbs and all of our action had already happened and needed to be past tense. Okay, so this is why it's important. The second sheet is looking through the paragraph, and it can be quite tricky when you're looking at a large bulk of writing to keep picking out all the verbs and all the doing words and the past tenses. Just take it one sentence at a time, read one sentence to yourself, even if it's really short, just read it and see, okay, that doesn't make sense, that word, and get the doing part of it. All right, and then the third sheet was the mix and match, picking out words from the box, okay? And again, there's words either side maybe of the missing word, which will be clues as to whether or not it works. The most noticeable one was the one about the football match. There's a word in there, to the football. And because the word to the football is there, it can't be one of the word choices, which is watch and watched. Wouldn't make sense. I watched to the football, I watched to the football. Doesn't actually make sense. So in fact, the answer for that one is a different word. It's I think it was went. Yeah, I think went was the answer for that one. So do be careful on those questions. But essentially, verbs, just to remind you, are the doing words, okay? Doing, the action that gets done, okay, by the subject. The subject in your sentence are the people that are undertaking the doing part, the action, okay? They're the subjects. Tenses is past, present, and future. There's only three of them, past, present, and future, All right, and then from there you just tweak it. Okay, so that's that. History, finally. Same because there's lots and lots of difficulties. So I do apologize if I find it overly difficult. Really glad though to see some of us were getting like family members involved and trying to get the whole family to solve it, which is good as well. I'm sure they enjoyed the task. So with it, if you're really struggling, I've put a link onto the classroom app. So there's a link on there that will take you to an online tool. So if you can't make one of the Caesar wheels yourself, you can use this online tool. In the online tool, though, what you will need to do, it says encode and decode. To encode something means to make it crypted, and to decode something means to basically uncrypt, uncipher it. So for your worksheets, you have to decode lots of those coded messages. So they're giving you the message which is in code, and you have to decode it. So if you're using the online tool, click on the option to decode, type in on the left-hand box, type in the message of the worksheet. In the middle section to the online tool, you'll have to choose what setting on the wheel. Do you move it 1 place, 2 places, 3 places, so on, all the way up to 26 places, okay? And the trick to this one then is, if you're using the online tool, is you can basically just keep clicking +1 to keep spinning it. And every time have a look on the right-hand side box, because that will be your coded message decoded. So as soon as the decoded message actually makes sense, you find the correct key number, okay? So it should be easy enough. If you weren't using that online tool and you were needing to try and work out how to do it yourself, the trick was the English language. And this is real life, so when these codes were done, this is again the same trick that they used, was in the English language, 3-letter words. There isn't that many that we commonly use frequently. The ones that 3-letter words that we use on a high frequency, so there's a high chance that they would be in that sentence somewhere, is and, the, and but. And the and but, they're 3 of the most highly frequent words in the English language. So when you get a cryptic message, you tend to have a look and see, can you partition off where the 3-letter words are? And then from there, you basically spin the wheel and see, do they line up with one of those 3-letter words, and, the, or but. And that's how they would have done it in real life. They'd have figured out that. Okay, so I will talk more. I think I plan maybe after maths tomorrow to discuss a little bit about the history for tomorrow. Okay, so I will discuss tomorrow's work with you after maths tomorrow. All right, does that sound good? And finally, it is the afternoon time. It's gone 2 o'clock. If you haven't done the art today, I would definitely recommend having a go at it. I see Danny has already put up a picture of his effort, which was very good. The art, nice, easy, follow along video. It's quite entertaining. And I actually think that company do some live draw along sessions too, which could be useful on other days. Okay. And I say that's it. Hopefully this video has stayed good and healthy, and you were able to get your maths at least marked. Okay. So I say, you can let me know in Google Classroom how you're getting on. And really well done for today, guys. Really well done.